Okay, well, I think we will go ahead and get started. Thank you again for joining us this evening. My name is Dr. Iman Al-Sheikh. I head up the Center for Cybersecurity here at the University of West Florida, and we are thrilled to be launching our inaugural workforce development and cybersecurity cohorts. And we're even more thrilled that you all are part of those inaugural cohorts. And so welcome and congratulations. And we look forward to working with you over the months ahead and staying connected and helping you kind of leap into or advance in the world of cybersecurity. So we are running an orientation session this evening for two programs that we are launching next week. The Cyber Skills program sponsored by the National Security Agency, and the UWF Cyber Success program sponsored by the Regions Foundation. We'll be giving you an overview of each of those, and we will be having plenty of time for questions. So feel free, if you have questions, to put them in the chat window or save them toward the end, and we will make sure we've got plenty of time for that. And we will get a chance for you to meet our amazing team as well. So I'm going to continue on and turn it over to Monica on our team to introduce herself and to talk about today's session.
Hi, everyone. I'm Monica Respondic. I am the program coordinator for the Cyber Skills to Work. And welcome and congratulations. I'm super thrilled that you're able to participate in this great opportunity. And I also have I'm really looking forward to just really collaborating and working with you closely as the months progress. Okay, today we have some goals that we want to accomplish in today's session. One, we definitely want to provide you a program overview and really talk about the benefits of what you're going to be taking away from participating in our program. We'll also give you an opportunity to meet our center program team and staff. The faculty will also be joining us and letting us know a little bit more about the courses. We'll share with you our program schedule and go over the course information as well. We'll also give us an opportunity to go over program requirements and our agreement forms. We'll provide a brief little introduction to logging into Canvas, and then provide you a resource to navigating Canvas at your own leisure. And then, of course, we will have time for questions and answers at the end. Okay, so, oops. The Cyber Skills to Work program is sponsored by the National Security Agency. I am the point of contact for that program. We were doing 2 months of extensive recruitment, and we are excited to offer this opportunity to 30 participants. These participants are either transition military, veterans, transitioning first responders, or retired first responders. On the slide, you'll see my contact information, but if you're already in this session, you have received my email. So that's one way to contact me. And on here is also a phone that you can reach me. And if you have any questions, feel free to call me or email me, and I'll be happy to assist you. This particular program covers 5 courses, and we'll talk about them in more detail in later slides. But as you know, our program is really focused on training, certifying, and helping place participants in cybersecurity work roles within our nation's critical infrastructures, which includes defense, finance services, and energy. Our program will take about 5 intensive months of online training, which will run from March 29 through July 31st.
Great, thank you, Monica. And we should mention that the program, if you want to go back one slide real quick, that we're thrilled to be offering that Cyber Skills to Work program at UWF. Just to mention real quickly that that is part of a larger national cybersecurity workforce program that UWF is leading. And so we have been selected by the NSA to develop the National Cybersecurity Workforce Development Program that includes 10 colleges and universities across the country offering workforce programs for transitioning that target population, transitioning military and veterans and first responders across the country. And so Cyber Skills to Work is the UWF offering within that program. And so you all are kind of going to be the leaders of the pack, that not only are you part of the UWF program, but you're kind of the inaugural cohort of that national program, where over the next 2 years, as part of this national coalition, we will be working with over 1,500 target participants to train and place them across the country. All right, let's keep going. We're also thrilled to be working with the, if we could go on to the next slide, the Regions Foundation on a very similar cybersecurity workforce development program. All of this is triggered by the needs for qualified professional in cybersecurity, and how do we help people with experience and a great background, such as yourselves, to ramp up quickly and get into those cybersecurity roles. And so this program will include a cohort of 7 veterans as participants. It will also run approximately the same time frame as the Cyber Skills to Work program. And it'll include 4 courses: Cybersecurity Fundamentals, CompTIA Security Plus, Network Defense Fundamentals, and Linux System Administration. And these courses were identified based on conversations with partners and employers about the skill sets and knowledge that they're looking for. More specifically, we will be working with those employers and with our cohort to help not only train and certify them, there's industry certification involved, but also help place them along what we call the Cyber Coast. So the Northwest Florida area, as well as South Alabama. Okay, let's keep going. So a little bit about the benefits of these programs is that our team have worked tirelessly to make the courses and program available online asynchronously to make it more accessible for you all. And certainly these days with the challenges of remote work and remote operations, the students will prepare, the program will prepare you all not only with foundational knowledge that you need for these cybersecurity careers, but also with hands-on skills via our Florida Cyber Range. We really emphasize a holistic approach to ensure that you all succeed and complete the program and successfully transition to cybersecurity roles. So that will involve support and lots of interaction from our team. And so, as Monica said, we're here to support you all, as well as career development resources and events and activities to help connect you and prepare you for those interviews and for those positions within cyber organizations. The program will also provide UWF certifications, and we're pleased to announce digital badges as well, that then you could put into your digital wallet and be able to document your credentials and the skills and the topics that you have covered as part of these programs. In addition, you also have the opportunity to earn 2 industry certifications as part of the program. Okay, let's keep going. I think we may have skipped one. Yes, there we go. So I want to make sure we take a chance for you all to get to know the amazing team that you will be working with over the next 5 months. And so we will go around and do quick team introductions. Dr. Ghosh?
Hello, can you all hear me okay? Am I?
I hear you.
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, perfect, thank you. Hi, my name is Tirthankar Ghosh, and I do welcome you and congratulations for being part of this first cohort, as Dr. Al-Sheikh and Monica said. So my name is Tirthankar Ghosh. I have been with UWF for 2.5 years now. Moved from St. Cloud, Minnesota, where I spent 13 plus years as a lead faculty and program director for cybersecurity. I have more than 16 years of experience in cybersecurity education, research, and a little bit of consulting as well with the private sector. My area of expertise within cybersecurity is mostly anomaly detection, threat intelligence, adversary behavior, intrusion detection, and also cybersecurity education. For you guys who are being part of the program, the courses that I would be teaching that you would not see me, but you would hear from me are fundamentals of network defense and threat intelligence. And again, welcome and congratulations. Thank you.
Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Guillermo Franchi III, and I am going to be the other instructor for the network defense course. I joined the Center for Cybersecurity 2.5 years ago, and I've been the director of the Center for Information Security at Jacksonville State University prior to this one. My main area of interest is autonomous vehicle security, industrial control system security, machine learning, and radio frequency security.
Hi, Sunny. I guess that means you're finished. Hello, everyone. I'm Dr. Gregory Hall. I'm a research scientist here at the Center for Cybersecurity at the University of West Florida. I'm also appointed to the Institute for Human Machine Cognition. Both areas, I'm working in the area of cybersecurity, cyber operations. I'm a local product. I graduated from Gulf Breeze High School. I was here the first time the 3 Mile Bridge was gone, and I get to be here and enjoy the second time that the Bay Bridge is gone. I guess it's nice to be able to work from home under these conditions. I'm a graduate of the University of West Florida with bachelor's and master's degrees from UWF. My doctorate is in computer science from the University of Idaho, and I spent my initial part of my career as a full-time faculty member at Texas State University in the computer science department. I left the academic world and joined the cleared defense contracting world, became a digital forensics person at Mantech, moved through the ranks of penetration testing, vulnerability assessment, all the way into offensive cyber operations and vulnerability and zero-day discovery. I've worked for Harris, In-Game, Accenture Federal Services, and a number of other contracting agencies before finding the opportunity here at West Florida to return home and be close to family. And I'm happy to be a part of the program and can't wait to meet some of you. Well, all of you probably, but I mean, some of you specifically.
Well, like I say, brings me up next. Welcome to the Situation Room Studio, my home office. My name is Guy Garrett. I'm an assistant director and instructor with the center. You will see me for things like cyber fundamentals and security plus. My job is basically to help you get qualified for a job in cyber. That's what I focus on. Dr. L. Sheikh found me in the community college system here in Florida, the Florida college system. I worked in Bay County, Florida for that purpose and built a program there. And she thought enough of me to bring me up to the next level. So I'm very honored and very thrilled to be a part of this. What we're here to do is help you develop the skills you need to be qualified and to demonstrate that you're qualified for a job in this particular field. So we're going to take you through things like the Security Plus certification to get you certified and tell employers that you are ready for a job in cybersecurity. I look forward to working with each and every one of you and certainly look forward to our opportunities in class. Thank you for joining us, and we are very thankful for all of you who have served our nation previously, and thank you for your service and appreciate the opportunity we have to help you serve at the next level.
Hi, I'm Dallas Snyder, Associate Professor, Chair of the UWF Department of Information Technology, and Faculty Fellow for the Center of Cybersecurity. I will be teaching the Linux course in which you will learn how to configure, operate, and troubleshoot Linux systems. I have 23 years of experience with various versions of Linux and its predecessor, Unix. I've used Linux or Unix for research, for data processing, for databases, for a variety of tasks. I also teach our 3 credit hour Linux course on the main campus, and I look forward to teaching you about Linux in June.
Hi, everybody. My name is Jim Rhodes. I am the Center's Communications and Public Relations Director. My job is pretty much to tell the story of what we're doing, getting the word out to the public, and your story that you're about to write is going to be a great great source for me to talk about. So I'm looking forward to the next few months working with you.
Hello, everyone. I'm Laura Summers. I'm the business manager for the Center for Cybersecurity, and I provide the finance and accounting support for the programs. Thank you.
Hey, everybody. I'm Julie White. I am the administrative specialist for the Center for Cybersecurity, and I will be the program coordinator for the UWF Cyber Success Program that is sponsored by Regions. I look forward to working with you through this journey.
Monica, are you there?
Ha, yes, I'm here. Sorry about that. Forgot to press
The good
unmute.
old-fashioned mute.
Yes, my goodness. I should know this. But anyways, as some of you know, my name is Monica Respondek. I am the program coordinator for the Cyber Skills to Work program. I've been in higher education for over 20 years, and my focus has been supporting students in their journeys through higher education and also student engagement. So I will be working closely with you throughout this journey, at least for the Cyber Skills to Work program students, and I will be guiding and supporting you along the way. Any questions you have, just direct them to me and I'll be happy to assist.
Thank you, Monica, and thanks, everyone. And I just want to say that, we appreciate, everybody that's here and the service that you've provided to our country, and that we want to, serve you all in return. And that I am fortunate to have the best team that ever existed anywhere. I'll put that up anywhere. And so you all have the benefit of working with this amazing team over the next 5 months and beyond. And so we're thrilled to kind of make this a big family and kind of help you through the program and help you continue your journeys through cybersecurity. I forgot to do a quick intro myself. So I am Associate Vice President and Professor of Computer Science here at UWF. I have been with UWF 20 years. So I'd say time flies when you're having fun, and have worked in various roles. My background is in computer science, artificial intelligence, and cybersecurity. And most recently, we have been focused on, serving our communities at the regional and national level, and really innovating to, address the critical shortage that we keep hearing about of qualified cybersecurity professionals. So I'll be looking forward to working with you all over the next months as well. Okay, let's keep going. Okay, I'll turn it back over to Monica to talk about the program schedule.
Okay, I successfully unmuted myself. So for this Cyber Skills to Work program, we have, let me actually pull up the schedule for us. I hope you all can see our program schedule. So what we went ahead and we combined pretty much all the activities, courses, and actions that we are expecting of the participants during the next 5 months. So we, of course, are starting off with our program orientation. We have set expectations for you to log into Canvas by March 28th. We will provide some instruction a little later on in the slides. And then if you have any questions or challenges, of course, you can direct your questions to me. Your first course will be starting March 29th, and it would conclude April 2nd. That would be for the Cyber Fundamentals with Dr. Greg Hall and Guy Garrett. And then you will also have course breaks scheduled along the 5 months. So the first one would be starting April 3rd, ending April 11th. But it's not technically a course break because we do have some activities that we would like for you to complete during that time. One of which would be to schedule a program check-in with myself. So anytime between April 5th and April 9th, we will be, you could email me the availability once I'll provide you more instructions how we can do that, where we'll be meeting via Zoom and just really checking in and seeing how you're doing in the program, any questions you have, any hiccups, challenges. This would be the time that we would be discussing your progress in the program. Course 2 will start April 12th and conclude May 7th, and this is the CompTIA Security with Mr. Garrett. And then we will continue on to a course break, but / testing period during May 8th through the 16th. And also during that break, you will also be scheduling your 15-minute session during May 10th through the 14th with myself. We will continue on to course 3 for May 17th through May 21st for Network Defense Fundamentals with Dr. Francia and Dr. Ghosh. And then the next scheduled course break would begin March 22nd through, May 22nd through May 31st. And of course, during that time, you should be scheduling your program check-ins with myself between May 24th and May 31st. Your next course 4 would begin June 1st through June 29th. That's the Linux System Administration with Dr. Snyder. The next course break will begin June 30th and July 6th. And also that would be a testing period with a scheduled program check-in. Course 5, the Threat Intelligence with Dr. Ghosh and Dr. Hall will begin July 7th and conclude July 13th. The final course break, and I think this is pretty much towards the end, would be July 14th through July 23rd. But during that time, we will be requiring you to do your scheduled program check-ins. We do have right now some activities that we are going to be hosting during the 5 months, and one of which would be the cyber chats. This will be an opportunity for you as our participants to get to meet some of the employers, maybe some faculty or professionals in the field, and learn more about their journeys through cybersecurity and give you an opportunity to ask questions, build networking, and that will take place sometime between the 5 months. We are still trying to determine dates. We'll also be providing our participants with a resume and interview workshop. We really want to make sure that you're prepared to go out into the workforce with a sharp resume and sharp interviewing skills. So that will take place sometime in the 5 months. And we'll also be connecting you to a career fair during that time. These activities will require our participants to submit a reflective engagement form, which I will discuss at a later time. Basically, we just want to make sure that you're participating and engaging in the activities, and also making sure that you're walking away with information and providing us feedback on how we can improve and best serve your needs while participating in our program. Let me see if I can go back to our presentation. Okay. So just the key takeaways from this slide is you will be required to do your program check-ins. There will be a testing period. There will be opportunities for you to participate in workshops, and the career fair is another resource that you will be able to take advantage of. Dr. Elsheikh, is there anything that I'm missing?
No, I think that sounds great, and let's keep going. And certainly, as you all have questions, feel free to put them in the chat or feedback, and and we'll make sure to get to all of them today.
Next up, we'll take a look at the Cyber Success program that's sponsored by Regions. That schedule is almost identical to what Monica just mentioned. The only difference is that we will only have 4 courses instead of 5. So the first course will begin Monday, March 29th and go through the 2nd of April. The breaks will be the same. The scheduled program check-ins will be the same. So you should have all received a copy of this schedule. So make sure to put those dates on your calendar. But again, it's very similar to the other program and the courses and the check-ins as well.
Okay, great. So let's go back to the presentation, and hopefully you all received a copy of the schedules. I think your program coordinator sent out the schedules. So if you didn't get one, just let us know. And mark your calendars, right? So this is exciting. We have preliminary dates for the courses. They will be asynchronous. So there aren't input required kind of synchronous sessions. You have some flexibility there, but there will be requirements for the courses, readings, assessments, projects, tests, things like that. We're going to do our best to get you up to speed quickly and into a great cyber job. And so make sure you have these availability for these dates by participating in the program. And we'll go over that participation requirements and agreement form a little later. You agree to be available and to complete the work for all program requirements and courses. So let's keep going. I see there is a before we get to the course information, and I'll a few questions in the chat window that yes, the check-ins we are here for you all, and even in between the check-ins, feel free to reach out to your program coordinator or your instructors for the course with any questions or feedback that you have. All the testing will be done for the courses in the courses themselves. So through the learning management system that we will talk about briefly, and then there will be industry certs. And in fact, this is a perfect time to ask that question. There will be testing for the industry certifications. And when we're going to ask our faculty to now talk about give a brief overview of each course. They can talk about the testing procedure for that course as well, but it'll all be done online. Okay, so as I mentioned, we have put together, a great kind of rigorous program to really help provide fundamental knowledge and hands-on skills, and more importantly, competencies. That's what employers are looking for. Develop those competencies to get you ready for those jobs. And so in addition to the readings and the materials that you'll have available, we will also leverage the Florida Cyber Range, which you see there in the picture, the top picture on the slide. Those are our facilities downtown that hopefully one day we can welcome you all back to our facilities. You can also see it in the background view behind me there. For the meantime, we've all adjusted to operating, including using our Florida Cyber Range virtually. So you'll have access through these courses to complete and perform and participate in hands-on exercises using the range. All of our courses are mapped to the NICE Cybersecurity Workforce Framework. That is kind of national best practice guidelines in terms of identifying cybersecurity roles, different types of roles, and the knowledge, skills, and tasks needed for those roles. And so our courses and our great faculty team make sure to kind of develop course topics and materials that address those work roles. As we mentioned before, you will earn digital badges in addition to UWF and industry certifications. We're excited to be launching a digital badging platform here. We are using a digital badging platform so that as you complete the courses and the certifications, you will also earn those digital badges. And that's great, kind of your digital resume, if you will, in terms of what competencies and certs you've completed. I'd like to ask now the lead faculty for each of these courses to talk briefly about the courses, and you should have received copies of the course syllabi along with the program schedule. And again, if you haven't, just let us know and we'd be happy to resend those. So Greg, would you like to start, and Guy, with Cyber Fundamentals?
Well, I'll take this one, as I'm the sorry, I'm the lead for Cybersecurity Fundamentals. Mr. Guy Garrett is helping me with the course. We're the co-instructors for it. And as the title implies, it is basically setting the stage for cybersecurity. A lot of it, I'm sure, will be stuff that is familiar to most of you. But if it's not, great, you'll learn some new things. Sets the platform, sets the stage with an understanding of the topics, the concepts, the definitions that will go throughout all of the other topics that you'll be taking. Essentially, it's for folks who have a tech background, who have, you know, some computer or IT experience, and kind of puts the cybersecurity spin on things, where, you know, you're kind of used to looking at things from making them work, making the IT do what it's supposed to do, and then looking at what the bad guys do, how they try to make the IT work in the opposite of what it was intended to, and how they try to gain access and exploit these particular systems. And it's just the general concepts, understanding the motivations of attackers, what the attack surface is, the types of attacks that occur, and it basically gives that motivation and understanding for the rest of the series of courses. So like why is this important? What are we talking about this for in the first place? And this is Bonnie. She's always in my lap. Guy?
All right. Well, thank you, Greg. Certainly we'll be working with you on those basics. Then you're going to come into CompTIA Security Plus. And I'm going to be straight up with you. This is a commitment. You're going to be studying like you've never studied before, because we have one goal with this course, and that's to get you certified. If you take a look at a lot of jobs in the cybersecurity industry, the number one thing they look for is CompTIA Security Plus certification. So we're going to get you there, but it's going to take a lot of effort on your part. I won't be lying about that. Now, the good news is you've already got Cyber Fundamentals in front of you. You've got some basic understanding of what we're talking about. We're going to go basically a mile wide and an inch deep in a number of concepts. There are 21 lessons in that program. There are 30 labs. And I'm going to be here to answer any questions you have. If I don't know the answer off the top of my head, I have all these other people I can talk to, this faculty and others, to make sure we get your answer. The bottom line is you are going to get certified. So I'm going to tell you it's going to be a very different course than probably anything you've ever experienced. What we try to do is make sure that you understand the contextual situation. CompTIA now wants you to apply what you know. They want to send you into a problem-based context. They want to make sure you can take the information you have and apply it to what they call given a scenario. So it's not like the situation, if you've ever taken a certification course before, where you just went through a boot camp, memorized stuff and spit it out on the test. It won't work anymore. You've got to really know a little bit about what you're talking about. We're going to help you get there. We got 21 lessons to do it. We got a couple of weeks to take care of it. And if you have absolutely any questions, throw them at me. If I don't have the answer, I'll find somebody who does. We're going to take care of you on that and get you certified, which is a very important step in taking your next step in your cybersecurity career. We want to thank you all for joining our program. We look forward to working with you. And again, once you get Security Plus, if you have any questions, hit me up. We'll take care of it. And we're looking forward to working with you.
And I did want to just jump in real quickly to say that, like Mr. Garrett said, it is a commitment, but it is such an important and worthwhile commitment. You can't We can't tell you how many jobs and how many employers are looking for that credential, for that certification, Security Plus. And so our goal, as Guy said, is to get all of you certified and extend this course for 4 weeks so that you have plenty of time to get familiar with the material and ace that test and check that Security Plus certification off. Thanks, Guy. Okay, to the next course.
Hi, my name is Guillermo Francia. I'm going to co-teach this course with Dr. Gosh. And essentially this course is an introductory course on network defense. It covers network protocols, different network protocols, their inherent vulnerabilities. We'll be capturing network packets that's running through the wire, and we're going to dive deep into those into the dissection of those packets and try to understand what's going on the network. We're going to cover perimeter security, host hardening. We'll be looking at firewalls, network firewalls, and we're going to end up with policies, legal and ethical aspects of network defense. This course is heavy on hands-on activities. You'll be doing a lot of hands-on work on packet captures, packet analysis. You'll be given some scenarios on applying your knowledge on ethical and legal issues, also applying your knowledge on network firewalls. I look forward to working with you guys.
Hi, it's Dr. Snyder again. In my Linux class, we're going to talk about making a Linux system secure, but many of you might not, if you don't know what a Linux system is or you've never been on one before, well, guess what? I've been in your shoes too. So we will start with the basics of what is Linux and how Linux is different from Windows or Mac OS. And then we'll talk about how we can make a Linux system secure, how we're managing users, how we manage groups, how we set permissions on files and directories. We'll talk about networking and securing the network or setting the network settings on a Linux server. We'll also talk about how to keep the server up to date, how to install software packages and keep it up to date, and a variety of other aspects of securing a Linux system.
Anything else, Dallas?
Oh, yeah.
That all,
Well, I just want to, well, yeah, I turned off my mic and camera, but yeah, so other things that we look at, I mean, we have hands-on activities. So you will actually be working on a Linux system. And so you will it will be a hands-on activity. There will be readings, there will be activities. I will walk you through all of the steps. It's asynchronous. So I will have videos showing you how to go through all the assignments and all the exercises, and also explaining the fundamentals and the theory behind Linux. All right, next.
There's a question in the chat window.
Yes, so the curriculum comes from the CompTIA Linux Plus. So yes, we'll be preparing you for the Linux Plus exam.
Okay, and the last course is threat intelligence. My name is Tirthankar Ghosh. I'll be teaching this course with Dr. Greg Hall. So this course is going to build up on your knowledge on networks, network security, network defense, and Linux system administration. So what we are going to do in this course, well, first of all, the expectations. So it will start from fundamentals of threat intelligence, an overview of threat intelligence, and then we are going to go a little in depth into threat sharing and threat sources as well. So going back to the mapping for the NICE Cybersecurity Workforce Framework, this course is mapped to 2 work roles. One is threat or warning analyst, and the other one is cyber defense analyst, because this builds on top of network defense fundamentals. So what we cover in this course, we start from, as I said, we start from fundamentals, the concepts, the threat landscape. We talk about cyber kill chain, we talk about MITRE ATT&CK framework and all those things. Then we go to threat intelligence sources, and then into different tools that are being used for threat intelligence. We would not go into dark web, by the way. I saw the question on, that's a great question. And I get this question quite often. We would not go into dark web in this particular course. So we would do some threat sharing with STIX taxi framework, MISP, the malware information sharing platform. And then finally, we would do strategic, operational, and tactical threat intelligence. The course culminates with a final project, which is going to be a cumulative knowledge that you gain from all the previous modules. The final one is going to be, it's going to be culminating with all those knowledge that you are going to do a hands-on. Each modules, so we have 5 modules in this course, and each module would have a hands-on exercise, either on the Florida Cyber Range or some kind of a case study and case example. So that is all. I don't know if Greg, you want to add anything to that?
I guess, we're going to get into a little bit of automated malware analysis using the Cuckoo Sandbox. So, I mean, we're not going to do a deep dive on any RE types of stuff, but we are going to at least show how you can get some automated intel off of unknown binaries.
So I saw a question, will we be able to access the Cyber Range in person in the future? In the future, I'm not sure about what you mean by in the future. So you would have, each one of you would have access to the Cyber Range while you are taking the courses. Beyond that, we are not sure about whether we would give you access to the range or not. That's something we have to talk about it among ourselves. Any other questions on threat intelligence?
Let me jump back in here for a second, so Tucker, because a couple of questions are coming through chat about the Security Plus certification. This will be the 601 exam. We are not moving forward in the 501 exam. That thing's going to expire soon, so we're not even focused on that. We're looking at the new version of it. So that's what we're focused on in that regard. We want to make sure you get the most current cert.
Okay. Are there any other questions? Anything else that this faculty or Dr. El-Sheikh would like to add?
There's a question in the chat window about recommended systems for specs for home. I think I'm gonna let the faculty speak with any specifics, but you will be doing everything virtually via our range. And so you need a good processor and a good internet connection. That's pretty much it, but let me turn it to the faculty for additional comments for specific tools.
Well, the broadband connection is definitely a big part of the puzzle. I mean, when you're logging in the Cyber Range, it's logging in through a web interface. We use Squawk, and everything happens to the web browser. So certainly having a good internet connection matters. The other piece of the puzzle is, if you're going to be in cyber, one thing you need to be prepared for, whether it's required for a course or not, is being able to run virtual machines. Oracle VirtualBox is free. VMware has a free version of their player. So these are things you're going to run into a lot of times in cyber. And I'll tell you straight up, the most important things are making sure you have a relatively current processor Anything within 2 years is probably going to work for you, and plenty of RAM to run these machines. Now you can, let's say, for example, your system is using, this really fast type of memory. You don't have a lot of space. You can run that off USB 3 onto a hard drive. I do that all the time in terms of running your virtual machines onto a hard drive and keeping other files there so you don't take up your system memory. If you're running like SSD, some of this faster solid state memory, that's fine. But that's something you need to be prepared for. But as far as what we do in the course, for example, the Security Plus course is all online. You're logging into a website that CompTIA fully supports. So everything that's running is behind the scenes. If you just have a high-speed internet connection, you should be good. But if you're going to be in cyber, you need to be prepared for being able to run some virtual stuff down the road, whether this course requires or not. Because sometimes you're going to get in a course and discover you might want to learn a little bit more than what we're teaching, and we can guide you to that, but that's going to be something that's going to be on your own time. So that's what you're looking for.
There's one more question about Windows or Mac. Is there a preference?
I'll try to chime in here. Most of the content for the courses, to my understanding, is going to be coming to you through the Canvas learning management system. And being that these are asynchronous courses, we've got video recordings of lectures. So, I mean, you'll be able to watch the lectures and interact with Canvas using anything with a decent web browser. I mean, so a Google Chromebook and decent broadband will be enough to get you to Canvas and allow you to watch videos, take quizzes, participate in discussion boards, do things of that nature. For the Florida cyber range, it's kind of the same deal. If you got good broadband, you're going to be able to get to the Florida cyber range via your browser, and then you can use our Windows and our Linux systems that are out on the range using your mouse, monitor, keyboard with that view into the machine that's running remotely. And that machine is using our Florida cyber range CPUs and RAM, etc. This should be somewhat platform agnostic, with the logical exception of the Linux system administration, where you're going to be using a Linux system. Dr. Snyder, is that going to be done remotely on the range, or?
Yes, I've already talked to Stephen about installing them on the range. So the same thing would apply here. You would use your browser. You need to have a good internet connection. The videos I record are in high def. So if you can watch high def videos on YouTube or your favorite TV shows on your computer, and the sound is good and the video quality is good, then you should be good to go. Again, a lot of stuff we'll be doing. It's important to have a good internet connection. There's no reason why, if you like maybe go to a library or somewhere where you might have a better internet connection, it might also help you, focus and concentrate on the course materials. So that's always an option too.
Yeah, I think your biggest challenge is going to be the technology. It's going to be organizing your time. And one of the things about this whole process, especially with Linux Plus, Security Plus certification, is taking good notes, communicating with your instructors. I mean, that's one thing that I've discovered as an online instructor for more than a decade, is that people tend to wait for somebody else to ask the question. Don't worry about that. You can contact your instructor through Canvas, through an inbox process that we have, and that's completely private between you and the instructor. Many of us use discussion posts or other tools in something like Canvas, where you can post a question that the group can answer, and that's okay too. If you're not comfortable with talking to the whole group, talk to us. I mean, the bottom line is we want to help you get the skills you need to get this job. That's what we're here for. So don't be afraid to ask any questions. There's no such thing as we think, wow, you should have known that. We have no idea what you know coming into this, and that's okay. Tell us where you're confused. Let us know what you're missing. And that's what our job is to do, is to fill those gaps. If you have a high-speed internet connection, everything should, as best we know, function. If not, talk with us. We've got some pretty smart engineers who can help work that stuff out. But we tried to eliminate that big Mac and PC debate, because that's something we would like to talk about among each other. Some of us use Mac. I don't. So that's not the question. The question is making sure you can access the material. And most of this is online. And again, the most important thing is not only interacting with the material, but please, when you have a question, throw it to those instructors. Let us know what's going on. This isn't a typical type of class where we're trying to say, oh, you only know so much. That's not what it's about. We want everybody to meet the standard. We want everybody to get over the hump. And so let us know where you're missing information, and we will do everything we can in our power to make sure you are ready to go. That's what we're here for.
So students on our online campus who are taking 3 credit hour classes, they use Mac and Windows, or either one. They'll use either one. So to answer the question, either one of them will work.
Okay, there's 2 last questions that we'll address, and if we can save some of those questions for the end, that would be great, so that we can move along with our presentation. But one of the questions was for CompTIA and Linux, will they be able to download the books as PDFs?
I know with Security Plus, we've looked at that. So that's something we've talked about. It is possible. It depends on, what's going on. I'll be straight up with you with Security Plus. I haven't looked at the Linux stuff in depth. That'd be more Dr. Snyder's role. But I can tell you with Security Plus, what they have online is exactly what's in the book. And I know some people like to have the PDF so they can access it, wherever they're going. Like if you're waiting for a haircut or something, that's great. But a big part of it is being able to, when you're accessing that material, also access our lectures, access any supplementary materials. And by the way, we add those constantly as you guys have questions. Sometimes we get a question we're expecting, we throw a supplemental material out there. So just taking those notes. So I think that, it's possible. But if you can access the material online, I know with CompTIA, they try to make the lesson material, the stuff you read, available as easy to access on a cell phone or a tablet as a PC. So you should be all right with that.
Thank you. And lastly, what tools will become familiar with, need to become familiar with, like Wireshark, Snort, Kali, Linux, etc.? This is from Daniel Miller.
Okay, wow. So when you start talking about something like Security Plus, they're covering this stuff in inch, mile, and wide. I mean, basically, we're looking a mile wide and inch deep. So here's how we do it. I know they cover some tools like Nmap. We get into path ping. There's a number of tools we cover, but the exam doesn't require you to know a lot of detail about it. There's a couple of things you need to be aware of, like IF config, IP config. So what I would suggest to deal with the tools is as you come across them in your course. Now Linux will be a very different ballgame because Linux has a lot more things that it requires that certification. The best thing to do is taking the good notes. So set it up where you say, okay, what is ping? And you define that based on what you find in the material. And then if you have a lab that involves it, if you don't have a lab that involves it, if you need one, ask your instructor, we can help you out. Give it a shot, try to see what it does. And then, take a good series of notes. To execute ping, I would put in ping, and then I would put in, say, www.google.com. And what I expect to receive is the X, Y, and Z. And we're going to teach you how to do that, by the way. I know in the Security Plus course, where I talk a lot about how you study for this thing. So don't worry as much about the tools. If you encounter a tool, get a basic understanding, but this is entry level stuff. So I know Linux, I'll let Dr. Snyder talk about Linux and how detailed they go, but I'll be straight up with you. With the tools you encounter, just basically get a definition of it, know what it should tell you. In other words, what do you learn about cyber from using this tool, and what type of things might indicate you would look for next. And if you can do that, you're probably going to be okay. This is entry level, so don't worry about it. If you have any questions about the details, tell us, we'll help you out.
Yeah, and maybe we could keep going. Oh, sorry, go ahead, Dallas. I was just going to say that I'm wondering if that question was intended about all the courses, not just the Security Plus course, in terms of what tools will this program help us be familiar with or utilize? And if so, maybe after Dallas, then we go back to the slides and then kind of come back to give the faculty a chance to think about what tools it'll involve and share that information. If I understood that question correctly, Daniel.
For the Linux system administration class, we use CentOS, which is just a flavor. I like to use the word flavor of Linux. Some people use distribution. Some, there's a whole bunch of different terms for it. But we start with the basics. We will assume that you have never logged onto a Linux system before, and we'll start with the basics. And if you've never used Linux before, you'll quickly learn that it is case sensitive, and that, that typing in commands correctly is very important, as we've all learned who've used Linux. We will have a little bit of a graphical user interface too that we can. I know that kind of concerns people that it's a complete command line environment. That's not the case. We will have graphical user interface. And just keep in mind with Linux, just keep an open mind. I ask you keep an open mind. It does most everything Windows does. It's just called something different. And if you can relate, if you're familiar with Windows and you think about, okay, what am I doing in Linux? What is this thing I'm doing in Linux? What's it most closely related to in Windows? Or is it the same process? Is it doing the same tasks? So if you kind of keep that open mind and see the parallels between Linux and Windows, then I think you'll have a much better experience in the class, and it'll be fun. And you'll also understand that you're gaining very valuable skills that employers are looking for.
Was there anybody else going to add, or are we ready to move on to the next slide?
I think, why don't we keep going, Monica, and then we'll come back to the question about tools, as well as any other questions that come up in the chat or that our group cohorts want to ask.
Okay, wonderful. So program requirements. We are really excited and thrilled that you are taking on this journey and learning more about cyber skills, and potentially end up working in one of our critical infrastructures. But before we do that, before we fully dive into the program and the courses, we want to make sure that you understand this is a commitment. And we do have expectations. We are funded by two different entities, and we are responsible for making sure that we show the success of our program and the impact it has on individuals. And we need to demonstrate that. So before we can do that, we need to make sure that you understand what you're signing up for, that there are some program requirements that must be completed, and that you are ready to take on the program in its entirety. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of show you what the program requirement will look like. And I apologize if my screen looks really tiny. I'm going to try to see if I can increase the word size here. All right. So for each program, we do have a participant agreement form that you will be issued. Both Julie and I will be sending them over, and it will be through, I'm not sure, I think Dr. Alshik will have to confirm this, but it might be through a Google form, and we'll make sure that we go over those details in our email to provide further instruction. But this is what it will look like, and the meat of it is what's most important for us. It will provide you the overview of our program and what it entails and what our purpose is. And of course, our programs are both approximately about $10,000 per participant. So our agencies that are investing in our program are really wanting to make sure that they're opening up the opportunities for individuals to become cybersecurity professionals. And so they're really providing a lot of financial support. And with that, all of our participants will be able to take advantage of our Cybersecurity for All resources, industry certification courses, course materials, any exam vouchers, workshops, instruction, and of course, program staff support will be included in that cost. So you should not be having to pay anything out of pocket. I think the only investment on your end would be your time, energy, and full commitment. To go into what the requirements are, what you will be agreeing to do in the next 5 months is we really want you to participate in all of our courses, sessions, activities. We'll probably send you surveys throughout the course of the 5 months and beyond that. And we really just want you to stay committed and communicate as well throughout that 5 months. We will, I think by now, a lot of you have provided us the required documentation. So that was another requirement that we were hoping to make sure that folks are complying with, because as we mentioned, we are held liable by different entities, and we want to make sure that we have done our part to ensure that the participants participating in our program are really eligible and meet the criteria that they're hoping to see out of their participants. Another thing that we want to see is that students maintain perfect attendance. We are offering this course online, and you pretty much are able to do the course anywhere in the world, as long as you have really good internet connection and are able to access a computer. We are providing a lot of our activities virtually, and we will record all of our activities so that you can make sure to participate even when you can attend the live sessions. So there isn't really a reason why you can't, unless it's something extraneous circumstance that I'm sure that talking to both Julie, myself, and perhaps Dr. Al-Sheikh and the faculty, we will be able to figure out a way to navigate your situation if an absence has to occur. The other thing is you want to maintain really good communication. So if you are struggling with your courses, if you're not really understanding the material, you need extra support, the faculty, I mean, you are receiving instruction from some really awesome professionals in the field. And so please feel free, and I'm sure you've kind of gathered by them talking that they're pretty cool and they're really approachable. So they're really here to support you, to guide you, to give you resources and really support this journey as you become a cybersecurity professional. So really maintaining that communication to also put you in good academic standing. Invest additional time, aside from the courses, I think Mr. Garrett was talking about, like, this is really going to require a lot of your energy and your time. So really making that time for self-study is going to be crucial. So we definitely want you to think about how you can navigate and manage your time. There are going to be some surveys, course surveys, additional evaluations. A lot of stuff will be coming your way. Just make sure that you're constantly checking your emails. We will be also functioning through Canvas, so a lot of the communications will occur there. A lot of the forms, surveys, etc. will also be in your Canvas shell. So just make sure that you're checking both your email and the Canvas shell for any instructions, anything that it requires your attention from the program will be there. So make sure that you're on top of that. There are going to be the exams that we're requiring you to take. And so that is going to be on your responsibility to schedule those exams. We are going to be supporting you with the cost of them, but you will have to figure out what time during the testing period will work best for you to take that exam, and then make sure that you take the exam and complete it and provide the results to your instructor. Employment verification information, I mean, it's just really keeping contact with us and making sure that everything's up to date, everything's correct. I will be communicating, as well as Julie communicating with you on anything that we are required to submit, or any information that we're still needing from you within the next 5 months. So this is kind of in a nutshell what you're expecting to complete. We will be sending this out, and we will provide a deadline. And so if you can look over, if you have any questions, please feel free to contact Julie or myself. We'll be happy to address any of the questions you have about this form or any other form. And we'll also provide a due date when we will need this form. And I'm not really sure if we're doing this in a Google form or in a PDF, but we'll provide that instruction when we receive it. Dr. Al-Sheikh, do you have any comments with this form?
Yes, great. Thank you, Monica. And we can transition back to the slides while I'm doing that. So the most important thing, as our team mentioned, is that we want you all to succeed, and we will be there to support you. And what we need to start is a commitment from you all to participate and do everything that the program involves. They were planned to help you with that ultimate goal of adding to your certifications, adding to your competencies, and connecting you with employers. That's why the communication is important, so that we learn more about the type of jobs that are good fits and that you're interested in, and really kind of making it succeed. So the program agreement form will be sent to you, will be emailed as a Google form for you to review, sign, and submit. And we will need that back before the program starts next Monday. So watch your email in the next 2 days, and please do review it carefully. And if you have any questions, let us know. But we do want you to acknowledge that by being here tonight and by signing the form, that you commit to, spend the next 5 months with us and really just kind of immerse yourself in preparing for that next cyber career or cyber career move or launch. Okay, let's keep going, and then we'll open up questions at the end. So everything will be available, as our team mentioned earlier, via Canvas. That is the online learning platform that the University of West Florida uses. And so all of our courses, you will have once you get access, and we'll talk about how, you will be able to access a shell for each course. So starting with the Cyber Fundamentals course that starts next week, next Monday, there will be a Canvas shell, and that'll include all the materials, all the assessments, all the access instructions for accessing the range, everything that you need, as well as communication with your instructors. There will also be for each program a program level shell that will really house kind of the general program information. So for example, the schedule for each program, when we have events such as the webinars or workshops or opportunities to share, we will do it via that program shell. So you'll start with, each of you, access to a program shell for your specific program and a course shell. And then as we get closer to the other course dates, you will gain access to the other course shells. And once you log into Canvas, it should be easy. They'll be there. You'll see the courses and the programs listed, and you can access everything and let us know. Okay, so how do you access Canvas? You go to elearning.uwf.edu, and we will send this information by email as well. Log in using the continuing education button. This is very important. Don't select the My UWF or the academic student button. You log in using continuing education, enter the login ID, and which is your email address and the password that were sent to you. So you will receive a Canvas login email that comes directly from Canvas. You may have already received that. Please check your spam folder because we've had participants in the past tell us they didn't get it, but it went to spam. If you have any trouble, let us know. We've also included there a link to if you need to reset your settings or have trouble with logging in, that could have additional information, as well as an overview video. If you're new to Canvas or an LMS like that, that will give you kind of a background on it as well. Okay, and so with that, then, are there any questions? And I know that we can keep about this, and we can go back then to the question about the tools and any other questions that you all will receive.
I did want to add, we will be sending the link that you see on this slide is to a video to provide direction on how to navigate the Canvas shell. I will email that along with all the other documents and all the instructions to Canvas for my group, and Julie will do the same for the Cyber Success. So we'll try to do our best to provide you everything you need to know to be able to navigate to these different tools. Just wanted to point that out.
Okay, I see the question, Marcelo, in the chat window. So the agreement form is just an initial agreement form. So that will be kind of that you commit to participating in the courses, completing all course requirements, meeting with the coordinator regularly, etc. Then once you get into each individual course, the instructors will have requirements for the course. So there may be a homework assignment due, a reading, a project due, or an assessment or a quiz that you have to take, etc. So those will happen individually within each course, and the program agreement is just a general form stating that in advance, before you start, you agree to do all those things. Hope that answers your question. If not, feel free to chime in or add more. Okay, any other questions then about Canvas or the program? And if not, maybe while you all are typing, or you can use your mics as well for questions, why don't I open it back up to the faculty for any additional thoughts on the tools that the participants will learn about. Anybody else, any of the team have something to share about which tools they will get to work with? And if you're on mute, remember to unmute, the good old fashioned unmute button, right?
Dr. Alshik, should we just start answering some of the questions, and then if the staff at the end, the faculty at the end, want to respond to the tool?
Yes, sure. Yep. And you can also put those tools in the chat window as well. So regarding college credit, so at this time, the industry certification courses are eligible for college credit. If you complete the course and earn the industry certification, you would be eligible for college credit. Dr. Snyder, would you like to add anything about that?
Yes, in our Bachelor's of Science in Information Technology, we currently will give 3 course credit hours. 3 credit hours of credit for completing the Security Plus exam. So that's how we do that currently. That's currently the only ones we do. Only 2 certifications we do that for is Network Plus and Security Plus.
Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, the next question is regarding the range. I think there was a question about, is the range accessed through Canvas? And Dr. Hall said the range is not part of Canvas. There will be separate login instructions. So the Canvas will really kind of serve as the overall, program management and course management. And the instructors will post documents within your course shell about how to access the range. And then you will log into the range directly using those instructions.
So basically the range access is through a online interface. We use Guacamole to do that. You will receive instructions from your instructor. Gosh, that's hard to say. Sorry about that. It's kind of redundant. But anyway, you'll receive information from us when you have to go to the range. We will send you the information on how you would access it in terms of what your username, your log on. So all of that will be provided to you. It may come through an email. It may come through something you see on your Canvas shell in a particular course assignment. A couple of ways that can be done. Just pay attention to that, but that will be a separate process as opposed to using the Canvas logon. Or for example, I know when we do the Security Plus course, we use the CompTIA logon for that material. It'll be a separate process, but we'll guide you through it, no problem.
Okay, great. Thank you, Guy. And y'all feel free to chime in as well on these responses to the questions.
Okay.
So are we able to communicate? Go ahead, Dallas.
So yes, yes, typically we set all deadlines to our local time, which is Central Time. I do know that with Canvas, I'm not. I think you can set localization, but you'll be, depending on what time zone you're in, you'll need to be aware of that we do set our deadlines to Central Time. And also we'll be able to communicate with classmates and work with one another. I follow the Quality Matters designation. It's qualitymatters.org. They pretty much set the standards for quality online learning. And one of the standards is that students can discuss with each other online, and they can have conversations. Of course, you know, we want you to do your own work, of course, but as far as if you get stuck, if you want to ask each other questions, in my course, that's perfectly acceptable, to help each other out, to ask each other, and also just to build community. I mean, just to build, you know, so to get to know your classmates. We try to have, you know, what would it be like if you were sitting in a room full of people? And that's what Quality Matters, and that's what we try to do. We try to facilitate that as much as we can within the learning management system, and our learning management system is Canvas.
I'll tell you this, as far as your Security Plus or Linux Plus exam, I know someone mentioned Network Plus. That's not a certification we have in this program at the moment. But as far as those exams, if you go to Pearson VUE and you go with the online testing option, which is great, by the way, I absolutely love it, you're going to have to take a camera and show the room, and you won't be able to interact with anybody in that environment. But as far as in the course, we encourage that. I use discussion posts and say, hey, if we're studying these particular lessons, post your question. Don't wait on you've got the answer. You think you do, throw it out there. I want you folks to help each other, because one of the things in cybersecurity you've got to learn to do is communicate with other people. You may be a technical guru and you're talking to someone who has more of a business perspective. They are dealing with the risk piece of this puzzle, or they're dealing with the financial piece of this puzzle, but it impacts what they're doing. And you've got to have those conversations. So we absolutely, for the most part, encourage that during the course. However, be aware that if you're taking a certification exam through CompTIA, Linux Plus, or Security Plus, at that point, that is when you will be on your own. And trust me, we want you to be ready for that moment.
Yes, and there will be, keep in mind the program shell within Canvas as well for discussion about the program overall. So in addition to kind of building that community, that we want you to do that from day one and include us in that community. If you've got questions about job searches or job roles or upcoming courses or things like that, use the program shell for program level communication. And that program shell we all have access to. Our team here will all be on that one. Okay, any other questions? Brian, that's an excellent question. What will be offered in the advanced program next year? That is still in development. So we have a great base of employers and partners in the region and also nationally. And we continue to work with them and also kind of research the job market and emerging job needs to see what is needed. And so we certainly hope to have more information on that later in the year in terms of what will be offered in the advanced program. But we certainly want to, whatever we do, our goal we always talk about internally is employability, that the courses and the knowledge and skills and competencies that we're focused on will help you all get employable. And as you know, within the cyber world, that continues to evolve. So wait for more guidance on that later on. Okay, and I see that Daniel has a question on tools, so I'll ask our faculty to respond to that in the chat window. If you could look at the question in the chat window.
Oh, wow. That's a big question. So here's the thing. A lot of people get concerned about tools. We use tools in training that are open source, but there are a lot of tools out there that we can't use in training because, honest to goodness, we'd love to teach you on this stuff, but we can't afford it. So what I tell people, and maybe folks like Dr. Hall will help me out with this, it's not about the tool. Most of these tools do similar things. It's about being able to look at what the tool's providing you and being able to make very well-informed judgments about what you're seeing, being able to understand the interpretation of that information and discovering what type of attack is occurring. What are the indicators of compromise? What impact would that have on your operations if that is going on? How can you contain it? So it's more about learning what you need to recognize to understand what is going on and then be able to put in the appropriate steps to solve that problem. It's more about problem solving the tools. So I tell people, don't get hung up on the tools. The tools you use in training or the tools you use on job A may not be the same tools you use on job B. And it doesn't matter, because at the end of the day, as long as you understand the output and what that's telling you, that's what employers are paying for. Gentlemen, help me out with this.
Well, I would like to echo what Guy just said. You know, there are so many tools out there. There's some proprietary, some open source. It's not possible for us to teach you every single tool. And if you go and ask employers, for example, I'll give you some example on threat hunting. There are a lot of SIEMs. Some of you are familiar with SIEMs, the security incident and event management software. There are so many of them. Then there are some open source, Elastic Stack, there's Smart. There is the intrusion detection, some of the open source tools, some of the proprietary tools. There are hundreds of them. It's really not possible to cover many or even like a fraction of it in each course. But we would be focusing on, for example, I can talk about the network defense, and this is the fundamentals of network defense. We are not going into in depth. Just for your information, we have a sequence of courses in network defense. So there is an advanced network defense, there is a capstone experience on network defense. In the fundamentals course that you guys would be taking, we would be using a PFSense firewall that's on the range. We would be using Wireshark, yes, for sure. But this is again fundamental. So we are going to use an advanced, an open source host hardening tool called as Advanced Intrusion Detection Environment. So in threat intelligence, we would be using the Cuckoo sandbox that Greg just mentioned. We will be using Sticks Taxi framework. We will be using MISP. So these are some of the stuff that we would be using that I can tell you at the top of my head right now.
Okay, great. Thank you, Dr. Ghosh. Any other additions, Dallas? Go ahead.
Yeah, so Linux Plus, when the Linux Plus curriculum, we're using CentOS. It's very generic. These skills are transferable to many different distributions of Linux from different vendors. So again, keep that in mind, that what you learn on one tool is also applicable to other tools. And again, that's something to keep in mind, whether it's databases. If you know how to run an Oracle database, then you're pretty much going to have understand most of the concepts for running a SQL Server database. If you can run commands in CentOS, then you should be able to secure Fedora, and you should be able to secure Red Hat. And then you talk about the other flavors of Linux, of Ubuntu. Some of these basic commands are the same, no matter what flavor of Linux you're working on. So just keep that in mind. We're trying to keep this as generic and with as many transferable skills as possible. We're also looking at what's the most popular out there.
Okay, great. Any other comments on the tools or any other questions before we wrap up?
Can I say something really quick? I just want from Cyber Skills to Work program, I've been getting a couple emails during the call about the course syllabus and the program schedule. Those items are included in the email that I sent last night. You'll find them way at the bottom as an attachment. I just wanted to point that out because I'm getting a couple emails about those items.
Yes, and what we'll do to also kind of save emails, save your inboxes, everyone, is that after this, we will send the PDF of the slides along with those materials, the schedule and the course outlines as a zip file, perhaps. And then along with that, include the link to the Google form that you'll need to complete. So what we'll try to do in the next email that you get this week, so be checking your email, is include those materials and the links and the resources that you need all in one email.
These forms will also be included in the Canvas shell, just so that it's easier and quick to access.
Okay, anything else then? Any other questions? Okay, and just keep in mind, we're here if you have questions. So whether via email or the Canvas shells, feel free to reach out. And again, just congratulations to all of you and thank you for all that you all have done, and that we hope that you find this program beneficial. And this is a journey that we will take together. So thanks again. And thanks to the awesome Center for Cybersecurity team for investing all the hard work to get us this far. And we're looking forward to seeing you all and visiting you all in your cyber jobs in the future. All right, anything else before we go?
Thank you, everyone.
Yes, huge thanks to Monica and Julie for all their efforts in coordinating so far. And next up are going to be our awesome faculty and our tech support team who are not on the call, but they will be supporting the range behind the scenes as well, all the great range activities. Thanks, everyone. Have a great evening. We look forward to seeing you in the program.